I think we're live. We're live, everyone. Yes, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with the new stream, and that is right. We are live on this beautiful February 26, 2024. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day, night, afternoon, midnight, wherever you are in the world. I'm certainly having a great day myself. And today, it is time for one final look at the Michigan presidential primary. Not just the Republican side. We actually have to talk about the Democrat primary for once because, shocker, it's actually looking interesting for once. I mean, this has been an uncontested primary on the Democrat side, essentially. Yes, Dean Phillips has been running, but Biden has been winning outside of New Hampshire by a lot. Well, Michigan might actually be the first sign of, hey, maybe he has some problems with his base. Now, before we continue with today's stream, I hope you enjoy these type of streams. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, just $1 a month, you can join Real American, support the daily content. Of course, all support's greatly appreciated. And of course, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or just want to support the channel even further, the best way to send is to send a super chat via, well, the chat. Again, I'll try to read through as much of chat as possible, but usually I can only get through the super chats most of the time. Again, I'll try to read through as much of chat as possible. Of course, all support's greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now we have a super chat already. None of these candidates for 5. Let's see if we can get Trump a higher percent in the Republican Michigan primary than Biden in the Democratic primary. So, I wanted to touch upon this real quick. Because the Democrat side, listen, Biden will win the Michigan Democrat primary by quite a bit. But this is the one state where he's going to have some problems in. Listen, I'm still thinking he gets like over 70% of the vote at least. But this is the first state where he has seen some significant backlash. Because for those that know, the Arab American community is large in Michigan. I think it's like 3% of the vote in the state of Michigan. It's quite a bit. And for the Democrat side, that's more like 10 to 15%. They are not happy with this guy. I mean, he's trying to play both sides, the Palestine stuff. And like I said, I might disagree with what they support. All right? I may have some disagreements about it because I support Israel, though I still think that we shouldn't bankrupt ourselves for them. Either way, I might disagree with them on this, but I'll give them credit. They're actually taking a stand for what they believe in. They're saying, no, you promised us one completely different thing than what you're currently doing. You promised us you would back Palestine. You promised us you would promote peace. You're not. So I might disagree with what they're saying, but at least I can understand what they're coming from. And I'll give them credit for saying he's wrong and actually doing something about it. Not just, what the squad does, says something about how Biden did not do something, doesn't do anything about it. So, yeah, let's just read this real quick. In 2020, the Palestinian American activist and longtime Michigan Democrat backed Joe Biden for president. Like many Arab Americans, she feels betrayed by his response to Israel's military campaign in Gaza and the rising civilian death toll. Biden would need to curtail U.S. military aid to Israel and call for permanent ceasefire before she could even consider supporting him in November, she said. And this is the problem with Biden. And just in fact, the Democrat base. They've always been trying to play both sides of the Israel-Palestine stuff. The problem is, all it took is one shit show. Again, it's the Middle East, but I'm talking about one shit show related between Palestine and Israel to spark something with the Democrat Party. And that's what's happening. These voters felt they got screwed. Biden promised one thing, doing the complete opposite. And she's not just saying a permanent ceasefire. He wants Biden to stop sending aid to Israel. That's the problem here. He can't even get aid. If he does, that's going to piss off the voters even more. So even if he gets a ceasefire, which some people are saying that might happen, he screwed himself, and he has to pick one of the two. Either he appeals to the progressive wing of his party and, of course, Arab Americans, but piss off the rest of the vote, or piss off his core constituent in Michigan and other states, but try to play both sides of it. He screwed himself. Absolutely screwed it. He had so many things he could have done, but he decided to play both sides, and everyone hates him for it. And as for Tuesday's Democratic primary in Michigan, she's leading the charge to convince Democrats to vote uncommitted. The Listen to Michigan campaign was launched less than 3 weeks ago by Elabed and other Arab American activists in the Wolverine state. It's a last-minute effort to send a clear and sharp message to Biden, his administration, and the Democratic Party to address the concerns of the coalition that helped them win in 2020, said Elabed. I think I said that correctly. The effort's campaign manager and the sister of Michigan Representative Rashid Tlaib, the first Palestinian American woman in Congress. This is not an anti-Biden campaign, Elabed said. It's a humanitarian vote. It's a protest vote. It is a vote that tells Biden and his administration that we believe in saving lives. This is the first major anti-Biden campaign. They're saying this isn't anti-Biden. It is. They're trying to send the message of, you know what? You want our votes? Give us what we want. You promise us one thing, you're going to deliver on it. And this is why I'm saying that Michigan's going to be the first open primary state, or even compared to New Hampshire, that Nikki Haley will get absolutely walloped in, more than South Carolina. Because here, Democrats are like, you know what? We should probably vote on the Democrat side just in case, this uncommitted vote does something. Can you imagine if uncommitted wins over Biden? The shockwaves that would send across America would be... There's no word for it. Let's see. Haley keeps overperforming polls, which is wrong. Congratulations, you did 1 point better in South Carolina. Good for you. If you think a 1 point gap is going to mean a surge in Michigan, you're nuts. Let's see. Excuse me. Since its launch, the effort has been endorsed by progressive groups such as Out Revolution and more than 36 current and former state and local leaders, including Tlaib and former Congressman Andy Levin. Volunteers have contacted more than 100,000 voters in the state, according to organizers. Organizers say they hope at least 10,000 people will vote uncommitted in the Democratic primary, a nod to the 10,000 vote margin that delivered the state to Trump in 2016. They drew inspiration from the state's 2008 Democratic primary, when uncommitted came in second place to Hillary Clinton with more than 40% of the vote. Clinton's rivals at the time, Barack Obama and John Edwards, had removed their names from the Michigan ballot after the DNC punished the state for moving up its primary. So they're trying to say 10,000 people. Send a message that, hey, Trump barely won the state by 10,000 back in 2016. If we have 10,000 people voting committed, what do you think that means? Dustin Carter for 2. What way would support troops on the ground for Israel? What? What way would you support Israel? Support troops on the ground for Israel? I don't. I think boots on the ground in Israel is a terrible idea. Listen, I support humanitarian aid. I agree with that. I'm saying, hey, we cannot just let people suffer what's happening in the Middle East. We should, actually help these people out. Again, of course, put Americans first, but if you're going to send foreign aid, at least make it humanitarian. Make it go towards people suffering. Instead, they are, spending money on killing more people. I mean, look at Adam Kinzinger, kissing ass. He celebrated that 400,000 Russians are dead. Did you guys see that? Hold up. Let me pull this up. This should tell you everything about this Ukraine cult. Again, I'm not on either side of this. I really don't care. Listen, I just want people to stop dying. But Adam Kinzinger is celebrating that 400,000 people, Russians I should say, are dead. You think I'm kidding? Look at this. Right here. What's the difference between February 24th, 2022 and February 24th of 2024? Answer, 400,000 fewer Russians. Look at this. He is celebrating 400,000 people dying. I hate these people, by the way. Again, he's probably over-exaggerating how many people actually died, but the fact he's celebrating saying, yeah, 400,000 Russians are dead. That is utterly insane that there are people like this in the world. Again, the Israel-Palestine conflict, I might support Israel, but the killing needs to stop. We can't have 100,000 people dead. None of these candidates for 5. Important to note that Biden horrible turnout numbers, so Uncommitted could outperform polls because the Palestinian people are more engaged. And that's a good point. You know, this is a legitimate campaign. This isn't like 5 people in a basement somewhere, you know, sending messages. You have former congressmen, current congressmen, local leaders, volunteers, etc. And they're clear that, hey, we are pissed off what's happening. And Biden's had horrible turnout so far. I mean, what was the turnout in South Carolina? Like barely 100,000? Nevada, it was like 5 people. You keep going. Nobody's voting on the Democrats' side. I think it was New Hampshire was like 100,000. It's been pathetic across the board. And now you have this progressive group making a big push. I would call it an insurgent campaign. They're saying, we'll try to screw with Biden a little bit. Now, again, Biden will more than likely win the primary by... He probably gets like 70% of the vote at the bare minimum. I mean, if he gets less than 70 to Uncommitted, that's a sign that, yeah, these progressives are not happy with them and that the polling might not be that far off. Could Uncommitted reach double digits in Michigan? So, based on what I'm reading, that's what they want. They want to get like 10 to 15% of the vote to be uncommitted. But their goal is 10,000 people. But just say like 10 to 15%. That's why I think I read somewhere that if they get 10 to 15%, well, I don't know. Maybe something crazy happens. Duster Carter for 2. How is maps looking? New York, Louisiana, Wisconsin, etc. So Wisconsin, the congressional maps don't look like they're going to change. You know, I highly doubt they change by the time Election Day rolls around. It doesn't seem like it will. Louisiana, you know, it's probably going to stay the same too. Now, New York, we do have the, I think the state Senate voted on the maps today. So they're going to try to gerrymander it. Listen, if the courts come back, and now Democrats are saying the court's on their sides. No, the court said, no, let this commission do its job. Don't try to pull something like you did last time. It's not going to go well. They're trying to pull the same thing. Hopefully the people in New York take a stand and say, no, you're not going to gerrymander a 27-1 map or something crazy. Man Milk for 2, hot take. Kucinich was the last good congressional Dem. You know, I mean, he was all right, but I don't know. Was he the last good one? I don't know. I think the last good one was the guy from Illinois, the pro-life dude. Was it Dan Lipinski? Yeah, Dan Lipinski. I think he was the last good one because he was an actual moderate. Yeah, it was District 3. He lost in a primary, very sadly, but he did lose the primary. He was a pro-life Dem, kind of moderate, but he lost to a progressive. So, yeah. Florida's almost safe as, hold on, what am I reading? I just got here, what did I miss? You talked about the new Michigan and Maine polls released today. We didn't talk about the polling stuff, but I did want to talk about the Michigan primary, the Democrat side. Either way, I'm just hoping that 10% vote against Biden here, just for Uncommitted. Because it sounds like there are people legitimately pissed off about this, whether it's white progressives on college campuses or actual Arab Americans. No one's happy about this. Hopefully this means that he gets like 10% uncommitted or something. I hope that happens, because if that does happen and occur, that is the biggest warning sign for Biden. That he screwed himself. he needs a freaking miracle to keep those voters with him. Let's see here. Now, Kinzinger's responded to the vet who burned himself to death with suicide is not heroic, after calling a Ukrainian soldier who blew himself up to a destroyed bridge in February 2022 a hero. Well, yeah, it's Kinzinger. No one cares about that guy. Which, I'm not going to get into that veteran thing where he lit himself on fire for Palestine. It's like, dude, you're in the U.S. military, supposedly. What? Why are you caring about Palestine? What? Your focus should be on the United States military. Whatever. Does Steve Garvey have a chance against Adam Schiff? He might make it past the primary. I don't know. I hope he does. Because Garvey's... He's not going to win, but... I think Garvey's a big enough name where he could outperform Trump. I mean, being a pretty good baseball player does that. Alright, so either way, I think the Democrat side... Biden will win easily, but it just comes down to... What percent of this vote is uncommitted, or for saying Dean Phillips? Because if Biden's below 70 here, yeah, it's not like South Carolina where we know how those voters are going to vote. It's not like Nevada where he's uncontested. New Hampshire's a mess. So, none of these candidates for 2, aka Glitched Evie, uncommitted had 16% in the Emerson poll, Biden 77%. Really? If uncommitted gets 16%, that's not good. That means there is some serious problems with Biden. Which would mean Trump would have a chance of getting more than Biden. If Trump cracks 80 and Biden gets like 75%, that would be comedy gold for a week. What, Duster Carter for 2, Rosendale scandal. Where does the Montana Senate race stand? So, there is alleged rumor going around that Matt Rosendale dropped out because I guess he allegedly had sex with a staffer and then impregnated her, excuse me. Which, I don't know if that's true. It's like, that doesn't sound like Rosendale. Like, you're telling me he had sex with someone and then she's pregnant now? It's like, I don't know. I don't believe that's true. That's just a rumor circulating. Apparently, Rosendale is gonna get a lawsuit filed. I don't know. But I do wonder if there was something that they had on him why he didn't run. I don't think it's that, but it's not good. Not good. I don't believe it, though, but still. None of these candidates, aka Glitch Evie for 2. Trump had 76% in the same poll. If he gets more than Biden, that would be gold. Please happen. Can't date staffers now. Well, no, apparently he had an affair. I don't know if that's real or not, but might explain a little bit. Did you see that Katie Porter said that pedos are not committing a crime and that it is more of an identity problem? I did see that. So that's why I'm saying, screw Katie Porter. Don't vote for her. Vote for Steve Garvey. We're going to lose that race either way. Screw it. Rather lose with a Republican than that. How old is Rosendale that he's having sex with a staffer? Well, I think he's like 68 or something. He's not young, but that's why I don't believe it. It's like, this is the first time I've heard about it. It's like, there might have been a scandal, but it's not that. Who knows? Barbara Lee has no chance. She's not winning. Hold on, what's this from Breaking 911? Is this real? Let's see. Oh, come on. We got breaking news, everyone. Can't go without breaking news on a rap stream, can you? This is from Breaking 911, so this should more than likely is real. Justin. Police and hazmat teams responding to the home of Donald Trump Jr. after white powder found in an envelope. The test results of the substance came up inconclusive on what it was exactly, but officials on the scene do not believe it was deadly, a spokesperson said. Are you freaking kidding me? Why? What's the purpose of this? To send white powder through the mail? What a coward whoever did this. I mean, seriously. I don't care if this was Biden or Trump. It doesn't matter. You don't do this. No sane person would send white powder through the mail to someone. This is insane that people are even considering it. Hopefully it's just, a drug deal gone wrong or something. Like they mail it to the wrong address or something, but still. Who would send white powder like this? I don't know. It probably was a white progressive, so. The white powder might be a Hunter Biden gift. That might be true, but I think this might have been just a drug deal gone wrong. They sent it like the wrong address. Would you really be surprised though? Some druggie sent to the wrong address? But this could also be Antifa. You know, pulling something. Who knows? Wait, what's going on? They sent white powder to Trump Jr. Who knows? Did you see the polling with no increase in Trump's lead? Don't believe that. Listen, this happens every year. When you ask someone, if Donald Trump picks this person as a VP, how would you vote? Even back in 2012, Paul Ryan supposedly helped Romney. Didn't go anywhere. VPs don't matter that much anymore. They don't. But yeah, I think that, Noam's not going to be the VP. She might, but I don't know. I hope it's not. There's just a lot of stuff on her. So we're probably trying to plant it on him. Not a good strat, then just go through the mail. Yeah, I would not think that would work. Like, seriously, go through the mail to set someone up with a drug deal? Highly doubt that. Highly, highly, highly doubt that. Could it be the DOJ trying to frame the Trumps with cocaine? Well, the fact they said it was inconclusive, I doubt it was cocaine. VPs don't matter that much. They don't. I mean, 10 years ago, maybe. But now, I mean, it's like presidential candidates where they're from used to matter. Like, if you were from the South, you were probably going to win the South. If you're from the Northeast, you're probably win the Northeast. Now, it doesn't really matter. Rap, will you talk about the North Carolina primaries? My plan is Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're going to have a stream each day about it. Because the plan is there's a lot of stuff. North Carolina, Texas, Alabama, I believe. Tennessee, trying to think of a couple other ones. What's the Super Tuesday states? A couple of them? California, thank you. That's another big one. So yeah, there'd be like a stream each day talking about it. They could scan for cocaine. That wasn't cocaine, yeah. It was God knows what. Hopefully it wasn't anything that would kill him, but probably was. Alright, so we're done with the Democrat side because, again, it's just a funny thing to look at and see, could Biden lose the Michigan primary to Uncommitted? Please. I don't care how it happens. If he loses that primary to Uncommitted or comes close to it, oh man, that would seal the deal, I would say, for what has been a very chaotic primary cycle. Alright. So, now let's talk about the Republican side. There are 55 delegates, technically up for grabs. Listen, this is the state of Michigan with Republicans, so you know it's a mess. Look at this headline. Confused about Michigan's primary convention? You're not alone. Yep, they are doing not just a primary, but a convention in the state of Michigan, with quite possibly the most chaotic GOP in America. Surely this can't go wrong. Surely nothing bad could come from this. You can already imagine where this is going. Or can you? Can you just imagine where this is going? So, let's get right into it. The political spotlight will be on Michigan on Tuesday when voters there cast their primary ballots, and then again 4 days later when Republicans host an additional contest. The party adopted a novel and somewhat confusing hybrid nominating system this year, which will culminate on March 2nd with a statewide nominating convention. Or two! A mutiny in the state Republican Party has spawned rival factions, each pledging to hold its own convention, though the National Party recognizes only one. Yeah. So there's not just one primary and then one convention. We'll get to why that's the case in a second. There's going to be two separate conventions. One in Detroit, one in Grand Rapids, held by separate people for separate results. Surely nothing could go wrong with this. Can you just imagine for a second, one convention has Nikki Haley, all the delegates, the other one's Trump? Just think about how absurd this is. Of course it's in Michigan, the one state that, for whatever reason, has been arguably the most chaotic Republican party, not just currently, but possibly ever. Who designed this system? Michigan will hold its primary in February 27th, with voting for Republicans and Democrats. Additionally, the state's Republican Party will host a nominating convention on March 2nd. Blah, blah, blah. Polls are closed. So, the reason that there's a split process is simple. Democrats, who control the state government, passed a law last year that moved up Michigan's primary date, which used to be in the second Tuesday in March. Republicans fought the change because it conflicts with rules set by their national party that mostly bar states from holding the nominating contest before March 1st. To avoid being docked delegates by the national party, Republicans in the state adopted the hybrid nominating system. So yeah, essentially, the RNC has rules where if a state's before March 1st, certain ones, South Carolina, New Hampshire, etc., they are exempt from it. But states like Michigan, they usually cannot go before March 1st. They say no primaries before here for whatever reason. Well, Democrats moved up the date. Well, that conflicts with RNC rules. So now they have to host both a primary and a convention. President Gilbert giddy up for 5. Hey Rap, love the videos and streams, keep up the good work and bring more of the live feed of pain. Yeah, we love the live feed of pain, everyone. So, the Democrats, 140 delegates, no one freaking cares. Proportional, blah, blah, blah. The formula for the Republicans is more complex. From the primary, only 16 of 15 delegates will be awarded, also proportionality. But most of the delegates, 39, will be decided during the convention. Yeah, this is a very, surely not a chaotic situation that could rise. Surely. So, you got to get at least 12.5% of the vote in the Republican primary to get delegates, or a delegate or something. Which, Nikki Haley probably gets 1 or 2 delegates just because she's in second place with 15% of the vote. But the convention has this system. In each congressional district, if one candidate receives a majority of the vote, that candidate receives all 3 delegates. Otherwise, the candidate receiving the most votes receives 2 delegates, and the candidate receiving the next highest number of votes receives 1 delegate. This can't go horribly, can it? I'm sure nothing bad will happen. There's no way that this doesn't end up in court or something. Why the hell did they do this? Why? I hate when states play games where, if you get 50% of the vote in one district, you get all the delegates, but the other ones, it's 2 or 1. Really? This is what they're pushing. This is their ingenious strategy. I'm sure nothing happens here. I'm sure nothing chaotic occurs. I'm sure of it. Nothing bad could happen from this, right? My goodness. I mean, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Just do the primary. And then hold a caucus and say, if you get X amount of votes or something, then you get delegates or something. Wait, is it the primary or caucus that is binding? Both of them! They are both binding. The primary and the caucus. Or technically the convention. Whatever you want to call it. They are both binding. Both of them will count. One will count for 16 delegates, the other one 39. What a freaking mess. GOP moment. Yeah, so it's both of them count. There's going to be 2 separate conventions. There's going to be 3 separate results. No one knows what the hell is going to happen here. Just, what a garbage system. This is such a meme moment. I mean, yeah. You can't tell me that someone with this brain came up with this system. Just make it simple. say, all right, a primary on Tuesday or whatever, 16 delegates, right? Proportional. On Saturday, do a caucus for proportional like Iowa. Be done with it. Not some districts, you get a majority, you win. The other ones, not so much. I just don't get it. I know South Carolina was by congressional district, but it wasn't like this. In South Carolina, right here, if you got the most votes in a district, you got every delegate. Not this shit where you have to get 50% to get all the delegates, but oh, you may only get 2. This is a crap system. This system is garbage. Absolute trash that no one with a brain would really push this. Who knows? It's just the Michigan GOP with the dumbest things possible. Just do a caucus and do like Iowa. Or hell, if you want to do winner take all, just do frickin' South Carolina just as a caucus. Yeah, it's just a garbage system. There's no reason to support this other than you're just a moron that want to make things complicated for no reason. Not smart, not smart. It is funny, but this is for the Republican nomination. So, the results, we have no frickin' clue. Party loyalists from across Michigan will caucus by congressional district, breaking out to 13 separate groups to vote for president. They were chosen for the role by their county parties. So it's not even in each congressional district. They're all meeting up in one part of the state. Or in this situation, both of them. They're in Grand Rapids or Detroit. They're not, an open caucus. It's like 5 people from Wayne County or something. Republicans will award 3 delegates for each congressional district. Blah, blah, blah. We read this. The group will also confirm the results of Tuesday's primary and award the remaining 16 delegates based on them. All this is unfolding against the backdrop of the party feud in the state. The process could effectively play out on a split screen at the dueling party gatherings, producing competing slates of delegates that could both wind up at the national convention this summer. The RNC would then decide which one to recognize, and its acknowledgement of Mr. Hoekstra as the state party's leader signaled that his slate would be considered the official one. Bro, you can't have shit in Michigan. Really? Yes, this is what Caramo's doing. Why does that have to be this complicated? Why? Just do a caucus. Just statewide caucus, not this, we're going to have the convention with all the people in the state. Trash. Absolute trash system. Real text and politics by 5. My predictions. Haley wins Oakland, Kent, Washington now. Uncommitted wins precincts of Dearborn, Hamtramck, and Ann Arbor, but doesn't win any counties. I agree with that. I think we will see Republicans, generally speaking. Trump will win basically every county except like Oakland. I agree with that. Camp shit in Detroit. GOP moment. But this is absurd how stupid someone has to be to make this up. It's like the ranked choice voting in Alaska. Someone's on crack to make this crap. Stephen Howard for 5. Wrap. I was wondering if you had an opinion on why Michigan appears to be much tougher poll from Republicans than neighboring Ohio. Well, if you were to listen just to polling, Trump's actually winning Michigan by more than Wisconsin. He's actually winning it by Ohio margins. But I think the thing with Michigan, the reason that's always been close, has been the fact the rules have not been deep red. They were light red. Slightly more Republican than, say, Wisconsin. The problem is you have Detroit and you have Grand Rapids. Well, or more so Detroit and Ann Arbor and all of that. But outside of that, I do think that it just comes down to the fact Republicans have not been able to get the rural margins from, like, Ohio in Michigan. Or, hell, even in Pennsylvania. They got, like, 70% in most counties. Not the same thing in Michigan. It's, like, barely 60. Caramel for RNC chair, make West Virginia competitive again. That's a good one. Yeah, we need to have a competitive race in West Virginia. Caramel would do that, by the way. Trump loved Caramel. That is horseshit. Trump endorsed DePerno for RNC chair, or Michigan chair, I should say. The Michigan primary is technically non-binding, meaning they can ignore the results. Oh my, what? Hold up. Does it say that here? Oh my frick, I'm not seeing that, but if that's the case, what a frickin' shit show. The Michigan, yeah, I've read that. Wyoming swing state. In a perfect world, every state party would cancel the primary and make Trump the nominee, pivot towards the general. Knowing Christina Caramo, she's going to support Haley because she's petty. How much would I bet? She would go on and say, the convention of Detroit has found Nikki Haley the winner of all 39 delegates. Politico says it's technically unbinding. I highly doubt something crazy happens like that. Unless Caramo says, no, Ryan Binkley won the primary. Which would be funny, but not gonna happen. Rap, has McDaniel stepped down yet? Yeah, she announced she's dropping down, or dropping out, I think it was March 8th. I could be wrong, but I believe it's March 8th. Which, good. Be done with her already. I wouldn't be surprised if Karen would support Haley. Oh, she would. Watch her support Haley. Please. Let that happen for the memes. Where one convention has all the delegates for Trump, like Hoekstra's people, but Caramel has Haley's people. Please do it. Please. I want the memes. I want free content. After Super Tuesday. Yeah, it's just one of those things where they don't want Nikki Haley to claim that the RNC's rigging it for Trump by choosing the chair before Super Tuesday or something. Can Trump win Michigan with insanity? I mean, I think he could. He did it back in 2016. I mean, I think he can do it again. I don't know. Did you hear about the New York Dems struck down the new maps? Yeah, we just gotta see what happens. Hopefully they take that to court and say, no, you're not going to do that. She would probably support Vermin Supreme. It would be something dumb like Ryan Binkley or Chris Christie. Even though she's supposedly a MAGA Republican. Haley won't stick around when Trump gets over 70 in Michigan. Well, I did want to bring this up because the recent polling out of the state of Michigan, and John Willard and those clowns in chat, they can cope all they want about this, but let's just pull this up. Which again, I know polling's not going to be perfect. We're going to see some Dems cross over. But I don't think it's be as much, because you're going to have a lot of Dems vote in the Democrat primary because, well, of what's happening with the ceasefire stuff. Currently, Trump's at 79.9%, or 78.7%. And that's with frickin' Target Insight in the poll. Take that out, he's probably at 80. Nikki Haley's at a good 21%, so she gets delegates, but you notice this? New Hampshire, she got 45%. South Carolina, she got 39%. She used to be like 22%. She keeps going down and down and down. Now, to be clear, for whatever reason, I've noticed this back in 2016, polling actually overstates Trump in the primaries. I don't know why. I look back at this. It slightly overstates him. For whatever reason, the primary, he's overstated. The general, no. He gets understated by a lot. But for whatever reason, the primaries, he does a little bit worse than polling. Not a 50-point swing, gap. Talk about like maybe a 2-point swing. 3. Democrats and open primaries are the problem. Yeah. If it wasn't for that, 100% she would not... She would have lost South Carolina by 40. We have proof that, hey, chat, just guess, how many Nikki Haley voters voted for Biden in 2020 in the state of South Carolina? Don't look this up, just guess. What percent of Nikki Haley voters in South Carolina, a Republican state, mind you, voted for Joe Biden? Just take a guess. I can actually pull this up because I was surprised by this. I thought it was going to be a certain number, but nope, it is way more than you would think. 100%. Not that high, but You know, this is the Republican that everyone loves. You know, the supposedly electable candidate. 70%. So, according to the AP Votecast, in South Carolina and Iowa, about 4 in 10 Haley voters supported Biden nearly 4 years ago. That's including Iowa. I didn't even read that part. I thought it was just South Carolina. In Iowa, that was before Haley really started to go down this never Trump Democrat route. So if you take away Iowa, it's probably 6 in 10. Man, what a great candidate, everybody, that we need those Biden voters to vote for Haley. Again, it's one thing if there's a couple Republicans that voted for Biden. This is clear that there are plenty of Biden voters, that just Democrats, let's say it, that are voting for Haley. And they even said, if it was Nikki Haley versus Joe Biden, I would vote for Joe Biden. Gee, I wonder how that's going to go in the general, especially when you pissed off the Trump base. No real Biden supporter or leftist would vote Republican. We're talking about deranged people. You had people in the exit polls. Do you guys read this? One guy was like, I will not vote for Nikki Haley because the GQP or something. But I want to vote for Haley just to screw with Trump. These are the people we're talking about. Of course they would do something like this. They hate Trump so much they think we must stop him. We must, vote against him in the Republican primary. That would show him. It is true, too. My friends voted Biden but told me they would vote for Haley. Yeah. And they would say, I'm not going to vote for Haley in the general, but the primary, just to mess with Trump. What a very conservative electorate that she has. Very conservative, mind you. Haley got a hell of a lot of voters in South Carolina. 4 in 10 at least, probably 6 in 10, voted for Biden. That is Haley's vote. If it wasn't for Democrats, she would have gotten 20% of the vote. There's no anti-Trump vote left. And the ones that are actual Republicans, mind you, these exit polls say 30% of Haley voters would not vote for Trump. Guess what? 40% of Haley voters voted for Biden. So in fact, that means most Republicans, even some Biden voters, would vote for Trump. It's just these partisan Dems voting on the Republican side to screw with Trump. That's inflating Haley's margin. I mean, Trump is still breaking every record known to man with turnout. But everyone's talking about this anti-Trump surge when it's not really a surge. It's just Biden. It's just Biden voters. I wish some Republicans voted for Dean Phillips just to screw over Biden a little bit. Not a good idea. In my opinion, it's not a good idea to do that because there's too many Dems voting on the Republican side. Breaking Bigley runs 7th party. Oh, man. I just don't get why people are that deranged to vote on the opposing party. Again, it's funny every now and again, but it's getting to a point now they're just voting against Orange Man for no reason. Said, I don't like Haley, but I'm going to vote for Haley anyways. That's not normal. These people are not sane. They need help. Instead, they're essentially deciding the elections. So that's a good sign. Real good sign. Hey, Rap, have you recently seen the woke thug? Hold on. I'm not going to read that. I don't know what that is. 1,000 DeSimps voted for Ron, lol. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, you still have the DeSimps voting DeSantis. There's like 1,000 of them left. So much for that DeSantis surge, by the way. And, yeah. We need Lindell Caramel for RNC co-chairs. God, no. Please. Can we not have that? I think at least Lindell, he's insane, but at least, there's good memes about him. Caramel is just a nut job. There's nothing funny about her. She's just insane. All right. Should we do final predictions for Michigan? Caramel disbands the state of Michigan. So, the state of Michigan. We're going to start with the first 16. All right. So I think Trump gets around 12 delegates. Haley gets around 4. All right. Again, this is the first 16. You know, Haley gets around 25% of the vote. But Trump probably like 75, 70 at least. But I think that Trump wins the majority of delegates, obviously, for the primary. Now the convention. This is how I feel it's going to go. Either Trump gets every single delegate here, or Haley gets every single delegate. I have this weird feeling something like that's going to happen. But in all reality, okay, I think Trump wins. Okay, there's how many congressional delegates? 639. What is that? That's 13 districts. Ooh, let me pull this up. I want to pull up the district map. Because I'm actually a bit curious. Haley needs to crack 25 to get 4. If she gets 49 point, blah, 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 she gets 3. Well, I don't think that's right because there's people like DeSantis on the ballot. So some people vote DeSantis, Binkley, or whatever. So it's not going to be exactly 25%, but who knows? All right. Okay, we got this now. All right. So let's go by district. Okay, District 1, obviously, we all know that's Trump country. All right, so I think these safe Republican ones, what is that? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3, 4. So hold on. 4, that's going to be for sure 12, okay? No matter what happens, he's going to get all 3 delegates in these 3 districts, I think. I highly doubt that much would change. Now, I think Trump gets the majority in, okay, District 8. Yeah, these are Trump counties, districts. They are Trumpy. So I think Trump gets all of these too. So that's 6 more to the resume. Ooh, District 10, yeah. I'm just looking at these real quick. Now, it's what's going to happen in frickin' Ann Arbor, Detroit, Grand Rapids. Okay. So what's left are the Democrat districts. Ooh, okay. If Trump is winning 70-30, then he's winning every district. Yeah, but is by a majority in each district. Well, most of them will be, but because he's going to get like 90% up here. This is a caucus. Remember, this is a separate thing. It's a stupid system, but yeah. So I think District 4, he also gets a majority, and it's still like Trump plus 4. It's still a white working class area. I think Trump does fine there. Now, Grand Rapids. Ooh, boy. This is the more establishmentarian part of the state. What do you guys think about here? District 3. This is where Grand Rapids is. This is the Republican establishment's home base. What do you guys think about Grand Rapids? Because Haley's gonna do better there, I think. Again, we're just gonna assume that whoever wins the district gets all 3 delegates. We're not doing the shit of she gets 3 or 2, she gets 1, he gets 1. We're not doing that. Yeah, so, I actually think Grand Rapids goes to Haley. That's a tough one. Because on one hand, like, Trump is starting to pick up enough Republicans where I don't think it really matters. At the same time, though, it is like South Carolina 1. It's a bit more Democrat. Haley wins Grand Rapids. That's just a tricky one. That's going to be the tough one to predict, I think. Gibbs won 52% of the primary, but this is a caucus. So it's going to be a bit more establishmentarian, I would assume. Plus, it is the Grand Rapids area. I'm going to just say Haley gets that district, but I don't think she gets anything else. I just have this weird feeling she wins that one. It reminds me too much of South Carolina 1. As for the Detroit seats, yeah, District 13 and District 12. Yeah, I highly doubt Trump loses those. Like, Trump is... I mean, we saw what happened in South Carolina 6. Trump did good enough to win them. I think he does good enough in Detroit. Yeah, it's the outskirts of it. He should be fine. But what's left is District 11 and, of course, the Ann Arbor seat. That's 6 remaining delegates. Okay. But again, this is a caucus, so it's going to be more establishmentarian. It's done at the convention. It's a shit show. I think she wins Ann Arbor. That district, at least. It just screams to me that she's going to win it. Trump gets 80% of Michigan first. Yeah, I agree. Michigan first? Oh, yeah, he gets 80. If Oakland goes Haley by 55-44, then Grand Rapids goes 51. Yeah. So then I think this other district probably... Ooh. That's a tough one. District 11's the last one. Does she get the last seat? College students. Okay, we're just going to say Trump gets the other ones. All right, we'll just say Trump at 55, Haley's at 10. Yeah, that would be, yeah, a lot of Trump wins. Either way, he's winning that district. I mean, that math, there's no way. He doesn't. Haley gets this 2 districts. I think she gets for sure 1, maybe 2. I think she gets the Ann Arbor seat and maybe Grand Rapids. Outside of that, I don't think she wins anything else. But, yeah, look at that. That is now 5 states he would have won. Actually, now that I think about it, Haley might win the Detroit district. No black urban counties have voted in the primary yet. I think they vote Trump. I think the turnout's be so bad, but it's be Trump voters. Biden's most unpopular president in U.S. history. Yeah. In modern history, at least. Real Texas politics for 2. Trump wins the 11th. Haley wins the 6th. Ann Arbor. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the 2 seats that she wins is Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids. The rest, I think Trump wins. We're not doing the frickin' 2 delegates, no. You just either win it or you don't. Be simple. Both caucus will support Trump. Hoekstra is supported by Trump, and then they'll follow his lead. Karamo is anti-established, so her caucus will vote Trump as well. No, she's just insane. I don't think she's really anti-established. She's just anti-person. That's the best way to put it. She's just anti-human. Anti-person. Hates everyone. Thinks everything's a grand conspiracy. Trump win Tlaib's seat. Yeah, I think he does. On a more serious affairs, Trump needs to defeat Haley with absolute force. You cannot have the hacks and MSDNC screech about Orange Man bad. Well, they're going to screech Orange Man bad either way, but if Trump gets 82% of the delegates, he gets like 70% of the vote at least. There is no way she could go up. I mean, how does she think she has a chance? If she loses Michigan by 40-50? Yeah, not good. Karamo's anti-sanity. Yeah, that's her in a nutshell. Describe a Trump Cory Bush voter. Anti-war voter. Allegedly anti-war. Karamo's anti-winning. Yeah, best way to put it. She hates people, she hates Republican Party, she hates winning. Yeah, that seems about right. Seems about right, everyone. Alright, if anyone got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, begin sending them now. Alright, last calls for super chats. Last calls for any questions. So we will be live tomorrow, and we're not going to end the stream just yet, but yeah. My final prediction, Trump gets 45, Haley gets 10. We will be live, I think it's 6:50 p.m. or 7:50 p.m. Eastern. Polls close at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we should get results fairly quick. Maybe not on the Democrat side because of mail-ins, or not mail-ins, because of write-ins. But who knows? Maybe something crazy happens. She should have dropped out after New Hampshire, but Koch money said otherwise. Well, now the Koch brothers, or the Koch brother, he gave up on her. He's like, nah, what's the point of supporting her? What's the point? After what happened in South Carolina, most people agreed that, yeah, it's over. Yeah, some of these southern ones felt like he was a northern liberal. What? Real text of politics for 5. If Rashid Tlaib hypothetically ran for president as an independent, who would she choose as a running mate? I'll guess Linda Sarsour, excuse me. It would be progressive. I don't know if she runs though, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I hope she runs third party. That would be freaking hilarious, but she won't. Also remember, Michigan reports election days first. Oh, God. Great, more conspiracies. I assume Haley ran for president because her home state is an early state. Now that she lost, there's no excuse for her to still be in the race. Yeah. I mean, this isn't just, she wants to do good for the party. If she gave a shit about the party, she would have dropped out. She would have supported Trump at this point. Hey, Rap, did you see the main poll? I did see it, but with ranked choice voting, I think it affects presidential races. I'm not going to get into it. Because I just think that the system they got there is a shit show in its main. Polling is notoriously bad in the state. For whatever reason, they cannot pull it correctly. No matter what. If Tlaib runs, could she possibly pull a Nader in 2000? No. Ralph Nader was just an electoral beast for a Green Party candidate. I just don't think Tlaib has that. He got 12% in Minnesota, 20 in Alaska. It was crazy. Except that pollster was spotted in 2020. Yeah, but it's early, it's Maine. I do not like looking at Maine polling. Rap, when do you think Haley caught TDS? When Chris Christie dropped out. When Chris Christie dropped out, that's when, okay. The Never Trumpers started to bail on him. They went to Haley. But then she got all the Democrats voting Haley. Or Christie. And then she completely lost it. That's what I think it happened. It was probably the debates too. But I would say what really done it was the Christie dropping out. Jill Stein is our strongest hero. I agree. I hope she gets 10% of the vote. They're all Democrats. Surely. Haley did what Christie promised to do a nationwide self-humiliation TDS tour. Well, yeah. Christie just wanted to get out because he realized, okay, if I can't even do good in New Hampshire, what's the point? I have a gut feeling Nader took more votes from Bush than Gore. That's a hot take. I highly doubt that one. Highly doubt it. Can Trump win Maine? It's pretty working class. Yeah, but it's in the Northeast, and when you get to New England, it's way more not Democrat, just more liberal in general. Like they're pro-gun, but that's about it. I miss the Christie town halls. I don't. The Christie town halls were pathetic. Maine loves third parties, so it's possible. But I think they do ranked choice voting. That's why I'm saying it doesn't really matter. They love third parties. Because they're just going to vote Democrat either way. Again, I think they do it, at least. I think. Surely. Gore lost because Bush was a great candidate. No, let's face it. Gore lost because he crapped himself at the debate stage. That's what happened. If it was for him being incompetent, I mean, he's supposedly one of the best debaters ever, and he got walled by Bush. That's why he lost. If it wasn't for that, he would have won easy. I mean, the lockbox stuff, I mean, he got embarrassed by Bush every single time. It was just why? What was the point? Yeah, but again, Bush, I mean, for 2000 standards, yeah, he was a good candidate, I guess. But he only won because of Gore crapping himself at the debate stage. Lockbox mentioned. Yeah. Jeb Bush had the mules. No, what happened was they had that weird ballot in Miami-Dade, and a bunch of Democrats voted for Buchanan on accident. That's what happened. Did you see the Dems are warning Alabama's second might not be a guaranteed win after all? I don't know why they would say that. I guess it's possible. Rap, what's the most the New Order style ticket? I don't even want to know. Gore invented the internet. Real. I still don't get where that came from. Like, I know the meme, like, he invented the internet, but I never saw where he claimed that from. Never saw that. Gore lost because Jeb Bush came to the meals. No. Again, he lost because he sucked at the debates, and then the weird ballot, the stupid ballot in Palm Beach, I think it was. That's what happened. Hey, Rap, we're talking about FDR in chat, who Southern Dems fell out with as they saw him as a Northern liberal. Well, I mean, he still got like 95% of the vote in those, but yeah, like 20 years later, maybe, but New York will be underwater in 2015. It was due to him being a strong support for the bill that funded the creation. Oh, that's what it's from? I honestly didn't know. I thought it was just like a meme. Some bullshit meme that happened. I don't know. There were no glaciers in 2013. Yeah, Al Gore is not a good weatherman. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, folks, this is the last calls for any super chats. I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you all so much. Any last calls? What if Gore won in 2000? Who would be the 2004 nominee? Maybe Jeb? Nah. That's a tough one. If it was Gore, though, probably some stupid like McCain sneaks in there somehow. Nader was a glorified protest vote and took people who were ancestral Dems who hated Gore. They would have voted Bush in a 1v1, though. I don't know if that's the case. I think he did hurt Gore more, but who knows? Next year will be the 10th anniversary for the flooding of New York City. Oh, man. Let's see. Didn't Gore do badly with Hispanics because of Gonzalez thing in 2000? Yeah, he did slightly worse, but Bush, for whatever reason, did good in 2004 with them. Dem should pick Al Gore. Yeah. Alright, if you guys did enjoy the stream again, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.